Have your attention, please. We are now joined by our Coors Light Pole Award winner, Martin Truex Jr., driver of the number 78 Auto Owners Insurance Toyota for Furniture Row Racing. This is his 5th pole and 24th top 10 start in 2016 and his first pole here at Martinsville Speedway. So, Martin, congratulations. Just talk a little bit about how you're feeling heading into Sunday.
Thank you. Yeah, feeling good. It's definitely a good day. It's fun to be back at the racetrack with some positive things happening, but first pole here at Martinsville, so it feels good. It's a cool accomplishment. This track is so difficult. It's so tough, and the history here is it's just a place everybody wants to do good at. So really proud of my guys after the week we had last week, obviously, to come here, perform, and get the job done, and excited to see what we can do the rest of the weekend.
Okay, we'll open it up for questions for Martin. If you have a question, raise your hand. We'll start up here up front with Jeff and work our way down.
So what's this week been like for you? I'm sure you've had time to reflect on everything. Obviously, a disappointing end of the chase, but does this, going forward, what's your mentality?
Well, our mentality really is just to go out and try to win the next 4 races. I mean, that's all we can do. I think that as soon as we got together in the garage at Talladega, I literally pulled the car in there, got out, and we all got together and said, let's go win Martinsville. What do we got to do to win Martinsville? So I think our attitude just instantly changed to, okay, we're out of it. There's nothing we can do about it now. Let's not focus on this. Let's not let it rip us apart or pull us down or hold us back. And that's not easy to do. So I'm really proud of all our guys, road guys at the shop, everybody. They put a lot of effort into this car. It's brand new, to try to come here and be better than we were in the spring. And obviously it's paying off today. So as bad as last week was, as much as it hurt to feel that just get ripped out from underneath us feeling, and there was nothing we could do about it. It was tough, but you got to move on, and you got to look forward and try to be better the next week. So just proud of everyone for sticking it out and keeping the faith, and there's no quitting this team, and they showed today.
Okay, go ahead, Nate.
Kind of following up on that, Martin, when you were asked at Talladega how difficult it would be to walk away with this being the end of your championship hopes, you said Sunday it will be real hard when we win the next 4 races. I guess this being maybe the first step toward possibly doing that. Will there be, I understand what you're saying there, that obviously it's a rallying point, but is there also going to be maybe a little bit of a sting when you have moments like this, where you win the pole, you win a race, and you think, man, we're not in anymore?
We haven't done it yet, so let's get it done first. We'll worry about that later. I think that's the mindset. I don't know. I mean, again, there's nothing you can do. I mean, you can't turn back time. You can't change the past. I wish we could. I feel like, and I felt all year, that this is a championship contending team or caliber team. I feel like we should be there. Winning's important. We won 2 races in the chase already, but we're not in it anymore, so we have to face that reality. The rules are the rules. That's the way it was set up when it started. All we can do now is do the best we can in the next 4, and if we win Homestead, it'll be a big shoulda, coulda, woulda. What if this happened? What if that happened? But you can't change it. So I think we're just going to go out and try to prove to all our fans and all of our followers that there's a possibility that we could show that we deserve to be champions, even though we're not going to be able to take that cup home.
Okay, we'll take our next question from Tom.
Hey, Martin, Tom Jensen, FoxSports.com. There's a lot of fast cars that are no longer in the chase that are up front, led by you, of course. Do you think guys who are outside the chase are going to play a significant outcome in the role of what happens in this round?
I think there's a possibility of it. You never know, especially at a place like Martinsville, what could happen. Short track racing, beating and banging, fenders, cut a guy's tire, exhaust cut a guy's tire, something like that. Of course, you never want to really see that happen, but that's short track racing. That's what happens here. So I don't know that it matters so much if you're in the chase or out. This place is just it can be volatile no matter what the situation is with points and chase and whatnot. So I think for the most part, I think guys, and I've been on both sides of it, I think guys in the chase get a little bit more respect than maybe a guy that's not. You certainly don't want to hurt a guy's championship chances. So for me, I think it's just you race hard like you do every other week. I'm not going to race guys any harder than I did last week or I did 3 weeks ago when I was in the chase. I'm going to race as hard as I can and as clean as I normally do, and we'll see what happens. But there's always there's always that chance that somebody gets in trouble here, especially, and it's not Talladega by any means, but it could be pretty volatile.
Okay, next question from Kenny.
Kenny Bruce, NASCAR.com. Martin, you've obviously had disappointments before on the racetrack, but would you have handled the situation that happened last weekend differently earlier in your career, do you think?
I can't answer that. I think I probably would have, but I don't know for sure. I think there's a lot of things that just seeing my team afterwards and talking to them and the confidence I have in them that we could come out and win some more races this year. I think with the season we've had, it's we've got a lot to be proud of, and I think that the way that the chase format is, it's definitely tough. I think that had we done a better job at Charlotte and Kansas, I think maybe we could have kind of secured our own fate, but we didn't. So we just do the best job we can do. I mean, that's all we can do. I think that it hurt a lot this week. It hurt. I mean, I thought about it every day and every night, and I just kept telling myself, just go win Martinsville. It'll make you feel a little bit better. So this is the first step in that direction. But just honestly, I've just enjoyed this year, even though it didn't turn out the way we wanted to. I've really enjoyed it. I love working with the team I have, and this is something we're going to build on, and hopefully in the years to come, contend for a lot more championships.
Okay, we'll go next to Bob and then Lee.
Bob Pockris, ESPN. What is the vibe do you feel of your team kind of being in the garage today? I mean, can you tell the disappointment from the last week? Is there less pressure? I mean, are you more relaxed? I mean, kind of what is kind of the vibe?
I think the vibe is everybody's kind of got a little bit of a chip on their shoulder, and I think everybody wants to make sure that they show the other guys in the garage, the other teams, that we were for real, and we just want to show them that we feel like we should still be going, but things happen. It's racing. It's the way it goes. So guys are just working hard. They want to win races no matter where we're at, no matter what the situation is, and I kind of share that mindset with them, especially now going forward.
Go ahead, Lee.
Lee Spencer, Motorsport.com. As strong as this organization has been from top to bottom, you feel you could win the most races and still not be the champion. But are you going to take some joy, some comfort in being the spoiler week in and week out, because that so many times this year you guys have had the fastest car?
Yeah, I think that's the most disappointing part, I think, for us, is that we feel like we've probably been the strongest team all year long. But, on the flip side from that, we haven't been as consistent as we needed to be. And I think we understand that as well. So, going forward, that's going to be something we focus on. But for us, again, it's just that, we want to go out and we want to win races. That's just what we want to do. And I think this is a golden opportunity for us to do that because of the way the seasons went, the cars we've had, the job everybody's done, the communication, the confidence we have. It's just we've got everything going for us right now, I guess, is what I'm saying. And you always want to take advantage of that in this sport because you never want to know when it's going to change. So, as bad as it hurts that we're not in the chase anymore and can't try to win our first championship, we want to go out on a high note. We want to go out with momentum, and we want to go out with a lot of confidence getting ready for next year.
What's the planning been like with Eric Jones coming on board? Ultimately, you want the organization to be stronger, bolstered, even though he's a rookie, by having two cars under the roof. What have you started, what changes have you started to see already that starts, leading you in that direction?
I think the biggest thing is just, some of their guys that are, they're putting together for that team, coming to the track, spending time around our guys. Spending time in the hauler, kind of getting to see how we do things, listening to our communication on the radio, all those things, seeing how our systems work, how our sim stuff goes in the trailer, and just how Cole and Jazzy, our engineers, communicate. Just kind of watching and following us around and mirroring the team and seeing how they do things so they're prepared to communicate properly and so they kind of gel quicker when they get to working together at the racetrack. I know at the shop they're preparing a lot of things. They've done a lot of changes to the building to be ready for two cars, and so it's been an ongoing process. I think they've been working on it for quite a while now, and I think the coolest, the good part is it hasn't really taken anything away from our program. We haven't really, I don't think, hit any speed bumps because of those things. and hopefully that continues, and those guys will be well prepared when we get to Daytona.
Okay, we'll take our next question from Jared.
Jared Turner, Anthem Media Group. Martin, just in light of your friendship with Dale Jr., when he is able to come back, assuming that happens, how big is that going to be for the sport and just, for you personally, just to have him back?
Well, I think it definitely will be huge for the sport. I mean, there's a lot of people that there's a lot of Junior fans out there, and I know they want to see him back on the racetrack. Dale's a good friend of mine, and we talk a lot. We're going to spend some time together this week. But me personally, I just want what's best for him. He's a friend. I want him to be healthy for a long time so we can, hang out when we're old guys sitting on the porch drinking a beer. I mean, that's kind of where my focus is. So. Yeah, I just hope he does what's right for him, what's best for him. I hope he gets healthy, and obviously I'd love to see him on the racetrack again. I'd love to race with him. I'd love to battle for wins with him for a long time to come. But most importantly, I want him to do what's right for him, and obviously look forward to seeing him on the racetrack if he can get better.
Any final questions? Okay, we'll take one here in the back on the right.
Martin James Pipe with Race Chaser Online and the Performance Motorsports Network. You've already talked a little bit this weekend about the history of this place. What does it mean to you personally, and how much does that increase the potential value of winning that clock over to your right on Sunday?
Well, it's a big part of it. I think, for me growing up, I didn't know much about stock car racing. I think I really only knew what I heard from my dad and my uncles hanging around the shop where they built their modifieds, and I always heard stories about Martinsville. They come down here once a year to race the modified race, and always heard stories about this place and guys like Richie Evans racing here, and Jeff Bodine and all those big name modified drivers when I was a kid. So some of the earliest racing stories I can remember were about that, about coming down here once a year and how it was, they looked forward to it all year. It was their vacation, and it wasn't a Sprint Cup race, but it was a big deal for some. For a bunch of clammers from New Jersey that raced modifieds on the weekends. And, that just shows how big of a deal this place is. We're talking modifieds that were mostly, raced in the Northeast, and they came all the way down here to have one of their biggest shows of the year. So, aside from that, just seeing, how long this track has been part of NASCAR, part of the sport, it's been around as long as NASCAR's been around. And I think it's awesome that we still come here, that, we all value the heritage and kind of the birthplace of where the short tracks came from in this sport. And it's a tough little racetrack, and I think it's always been that way. And, hopefully someday I'll be able to conquer it and get that clock. But it's a tough place, and it means a lot to all of us to come to a short track still these days.
Martin, congratulations. Good luck on Sunday.
Thank you.